All right, I finished, like literally not that long ago, the third book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. And I'm not content. I'm not content. I hate to give a bad review, but it is happening. This is what this is today. Also, I'm eating my dinner, so you might see that happen on occasion. Where do I begin? First of all, here is, I'm gonna brush my bangs because they look stringy as hell. My hair looks kind of a mess right now. There we go. That looks like more like human hair. First of all, I could not imagine the sun god as the character that's on the Raisin Bran box, you know, the sun guy with the 2 scoops of raisins. That's not on the author. That is on my imagination playing tricks on me. While I'm reading this book. So that's the grain of salt that this review comes with, is that every time there was a serious scene in Misha's religious trauma journey, I couldn't not imagine this guy. Which is, that's on me. And I take responsibility for that. But also, the thing that annoyed me the most is, so first of all, it took me forever to get into this book, and I loved the first 2, but this one just was quite slow-paced comparatively. And then, like, at the halfway point, I was like, okay, it's starting to pick up some steam. I'm gonna get into reading this. I'm gonna see it through. And then it was just kind of like, it's quite repetitive. The journey is very repetitive. The challenges are quite the same. Like, they're fighting the same 3 people on like every floor after the halfway point. And that kind of annoyed me. And then the romance is literally just a repeat of Oira's and Rain's from the first book. Like, it's just a repeat of like, oh, we're so hungry and we're gonna die if we don't eat. Like, this is gonna be so romantic, and now we want each other because we've just like eaten each other's blood. It's just a repeat of that, which she's already done that. They already did that in the first one, and now they're doing it again in the third book with 2 other characters. Like, I was kind of annoyed. I was hoping that they would get something like unique and new and exciting. And I mean, they teased it forever, so you knew it was coming. Like, you knew they were both hungry. You knew that like the only time that they were gonna find blood was with each other. So like, it wasn't unexpected, but it was disappointing. I wanted it to be different than what we've already done. It's kind of set up to tease, I think, a 4th book. The ending has like a huge thing that I'm sure will be addressed in the 4th book, like, extensively, and I think that should wrap it back around to Oira and Rain's story. I don't think Acer and Misha's story are done. I think that obviously that's going to continue. I just felt like this book was a lot of setup for the story. I like, the next book will probably be better than this one. I don't know. I was content after the first 2. I was honestly surprised that there was a 3rd book. I thought this was a duology. And then this 3rd book, which is kind of separate because it's Misha's story, that's supposedly about to wrap back into Oira's story with the ending. If I were to recommend this to someone, I would just say, like, start with the first 2 books. If you are really invested in Misha as a character, I think this book is great. Things I liked, let's be positive for a minute. Things I liked about it. I loved how they addressed her religious trauma. I love how they worked through it. I did not like how they ended it. Spoilers. Spoilers. This whole channel is spoilers. Spoilers. The ending where she kills her god, Atraxis, or whatever the hell his name is, Not what I expected to happen. I thought it was going to be like she had a choice between him and Nyaxia, and that she was going to choose Nyaxia. And choose her vampire side and lean into the Shadowborn joy of, you know, life from there. I thought she was going to resurrect the Alaris, and I thought that then her wish was going to be bring Aster back, which, to be fair, would have been a very similar recreation of the first book, when Oira wins the trials and then asks for Rain to be made the victor. But she didn't do that. She kills Atraxas and then so cancels out the sun. So now the world is an endless night, which just doesn't feel like something Misha would have done. She loves the sun. She loves what the sun provides. She's cognizant of like the human realm. I get that she has beef with him, but I don't think that that's the decision that she would have, like, I don't know, she's so kind and giving, and I understand that she is angry at him and that he has ruined her life. Yes. But I don't think that she would, like, I mean, good for her killing him. It was kind of right there. But I thought it was going to be more of like a she sides with Nyaxia sort of thing. I don't know. The ending didn't sit right with me. I mean, there was a lot that happened in the ending, and Aster's whole, like, he's a god now? Not into that. I wanted him to be the king. Not just a king and a god. That is odd to me, because now who is going to look after the underworld? Who's doing that now? Is that Misha's job? She's sort of dead. And this Vincent thing that's come up. Where are we going with that? Why didn't he pass through, like, nicely? I don't know. What's he going to do? Who's he messing with? The world's a mess. Someone's taking over human realms. Now the sun's gone. Can't really do away with the sun. That's kind of important. I guess it doesn't explicitly say that the sun is gone, but the god of the sun is gone. And they talk a lot about an eternal night for the vampires. So that feels like it's going to have larger repercussions on, like, literally every single thing ever, because the sun is not important to the world functioning. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what this is going to turn into? I just did not like it. I didn't. To be fair, it took me forever to read it. After the second book, I started it, like, right away after the second book. I started it in January. But I didn't read it for a while. I read other things. And then I picked it back up in February. And now it is March. And I've just finished it. It's March 2nd. And I've just finished it. It took me longer to read. Just because the first half was so... I don't know. It wasn't exciting. It was it's quite repetitive. The entire adventure is quite repetitive. I did like some things about the book. I liked that, like, we got her past. I liked her story. I just didn't, no, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. The series, I feel like the duology, great. This third one, it is there. There's a fourth one coming out in August. That's a continuation of this story. I have not decided if I'm going to read it or not. I feel like in August I would have to then reread, or at least sort of skim through the previous 3 to get to that point where I could read it and it would make sense. I just don't know if I feel the need to read it again. I don't know if I want to read the next one. I don't know. I like the series. I like the world building. I like the magic system. I like this, like, religion that's happening. There's, like, that vampires are a part of this religion. It's such a unique take on vampires. It's cool. It's sexy. It's fun. But I didn't like this book, and it's kind of turned me off the series for a bit. Maybe I'll reevaluate in August. Maybe it'll come out and it'll get great reviews, but this one just did not do it for me. I did not like the ending. I didn't like the adventure. And it was so hard to visualize, like all these levels. I know we got a map in the beginning of all the levels, and the fact that like time and space are kind of weird because we're in the underworld, and that this is all connected, and it was just like a lot for me to comprehend, and I did not like it. I did not like it. That's my thoughts. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you've read the series and you have thoughts, I would love to hear them. I would like to hear anyone's thoughts on this because I don't have anyone who's read these books to talk to about it. So catch y'all on the flip side.